Hey everybody, welcome to What's Right with the World. Here we are.
Oh,
we're doing a new intro and it's fun.
it's not really a new intro. It's so much
but
as it's just you and me,
doing what we do.
Yeah.
And that's goofing.
Yeah. So,
So to all the listeners or all the watchers out there that are watching this on video, I'm super cash today. Is that the cool way of saying I'm dressed?
Actually, a lot of things are different right now. You are super cash. We also look a lot better because we both have new cameras that we have not filmed with yet. You are at a different angle in your room.
Yeah.
And I am in a completely different room at the moment.
Oh my God.
So everything's different.
So for the video watchers, your mind has just been blown.
Also, this is the first episode that is going to be a little bit different. And by that, I mean we started doing the daily What's Right with the World sharing again for those of you on Patreon. So since the beginning of November, we've been sharing that. And you're going to hear this on November 7th, 2018. And it is November 6th, 2018 as we record this. So all of our news stories and everything are up to date. They are current. It's What's Right with the World this week. And we're going to do a little bit of a different format. Instead of just covering one thing and telling you why it's right, why it's something that's right with the world, we're going to talk about a couple different things, and we're going to talk about what Glenn and I are feeling positive about and that kind of thing. So Glenn,
we're gonna let it unfold how it unfolds. So this is completely new, and how it's going to unfold is kind of organic. So we'll see how it goes. But we'll be touching on different subjects, and who knows where the conversation will go.
So a couple weeks ago, obviously there was the tragedy in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with the synagogue shooting. And one of the things that we always have talked about on the show since the very beginning is whenever there's a disaster or a horrific event, there's always positive stories that come out of it.
Right.
And as many people have covered, this event took place in literal Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, where Fred Rogers is from. And Fred Rogers had a famous quote that his mom told him when he was a kid: whenever you see a tragedy on the news, look for the helpers. Notice the helpers. There's always people, whenever there's a fire, there's always people rushing towards the fire. There's always people willing to help, which is something that, Glenn, you've talked about a lot. And
I'm guessing that you have some examples of some helpers.
I do, specifically one that is a real feel-good story. Muslim groups in the Pittsburgh area raised over $150,000 to cover the funeral costs of every victim of the synagogue shooting.
Wow. No, isn't that what a good expression? I mean, I think we're pretty aware of the backlash that the Muslim religion has taken, because of the extremists and stuff. So what a wonderful way to express the good parts of the beauty of their religion by stepping up as a group and doing something like that.
Absolutely. And there's obviously, there's a ton of history of Islam and Judaism being at odds, and for this sign of goodwill and faith and humanitarianism, just the it's such a great story. So it's definitely something that I wanted to cover, and it was the first daily What's Right with the World last week.
Mm.
So I thought that that was a huge thing. We also had a fun story about a local bookstore. We have a couple like local stories,
Well, local to you.
not local to me. No, 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 just
Oh.
small town stories that I
Oh,
think are
okay.
really
I get
fun. A local bookstore that had been in business for a really long time got to move to a bigger store, like a little bit down the street. But they were really concerned with how they were going to move all of these books,
you. Mm.
and how long it would take them to do that and how long they would have to be shut down. Well, this was really fun. A group of over 200 people, community members, lined up from the old store to the new store and passed a book at a time,
Wow.
creating a huge chain for hours. Passers-by, people on vacation stopped, saw what was happening, got involved.
Oh, wow.
Pizza places donated food to the people. So just this awesome, fun story.
Wow. That's a sense of community,
Yeah,
and it's such it's so heartwarming to hear that, because it's, oh, there's no community. Yeah, there's community. That, like, we're not broken as people. We still work. We still have hearts. We still want to be loved, and we still care for one another. It's all there. It's not like we're broken. So what a beautiful example of how people just step in, and in such a, I like it because it's such an unconventional way,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what it is like, a lot of times we look at the way things are routinely and we go, oh, well, we're not really helping each other. It's like, and there's there's nothing we can do. And then we hear about something like this where just, it's creative and there is something you can do. And you hear about, a 6-year-old, raising a bunch of money and buying food for the homeless or something, or, somebody creating a program. There's this guy I know in Rhode Island that created a program to take all old sneakers and cleats and bring them to impoverished countries for the kids over there. And the creativity, it's just such a good way for creativity to blossom, to think up new little things like this. And it touches a lot of people's lives. That is 200-300 people that were touched by that, and their families.
yeah.
And then they'll talk about it, and then it's on the news. Like, that literally reached, at minimum thousands and thousands of people in a heartwarming way. So what a great little
Uh,
example of community that is.
so the other community story that I have on here is a little bit starts out a little bit more sad. There is a couple who owns a donut shop, a local donut shop in California, and the wife of the owner couples uh, is sick, is ill, and to help out the donut shop owner, customers have shown up early every day to buy the whole store out, buying donuts by the dozens so that he can spend the day with his wife, who is ill. So
Again, this is it. It's creativity. It's thinking outside the box. It's going, what's within my power to just help. And like the way the creativity blossoms in these situations is because people look at the issue and then they focus on the solution. So the issue is, the problem is, well, his wife's ill and we want him to spend more time with her. How can we help him spend more time with her? And when you're focused on that, all of a sudden the creativity can come in and you can find these interesting ways of doing it.
Absolutely.
It's just that's what we have to do more in this world is, instead of going like, if how this could have not happened, if there was a room filled with people and they said, well, we should buy all his donuts early in the morning so he can spend the rest of the day with her. And then the other half of the room said, no, we should go in 2 hours early and help him make the donuts. And then they argued over that for the next 30 years. See, that's how things don't get done. This is how things get done. It's very clear.
So my final What's Right with the World story for today is sometimes I just love miraculous stories.
Yes, you do.
I do.
And so do I.
And this story is miraculous. A New Zealand fisherman who goes to the same spot every single day decided, I'm going to go somewhere different. I'm going to go out into the ocean, to fish today a little bit. Saw what he thought was a doll in the water. It was not a doll. An 18-month-old baby had wandered away from the campsite where his parents were vacationing. I believe it was where the baby's parents were vacationing, and gotten swept into the ocean, had been there for hours, was somehow still alive, was somehow spotted, a little speck in the ocean, by this fisherman as a current was pushing the baby away. The fisherman somehow saved the baby, and the baby was okay.
Oh, my God.
The New Zealand newspaper, or the Australian newspaper that I got the article from, called it a freakish miracle.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talk about it. That's exactly it. It's a miracle, stuff like that. Miracles happen every day, and there's one.
Yeah.
That's you can't explain. You can't explain how that happened, except it was supposed to.
Absolutely. So now this is a little bit different. Glenn, this is how we're going to end the show for both of us. What is right in your world this week?
What isn't right? Well, yeah, really, if your eyes are open, you do see a lot. And even that story we just mentioned, I noticed things like that was from New Zealand. Well, my friend who passed away last year, his mom was from New Zealand, and he's got a sister that lives over there. And it's just, so whenever I hear New Zealand, like, I grew up in the United States. So in my lifetime, I have not heard New Zealand that often. And since he passed, every time I do, which is quite a bit, I always think of him. So it's like a little hello to me. So that's one little thing that just happened spontaneously in this moment. That's right. But, it's like in the last week, I think what's right is that this, my move, the biggest thing is my move to Florida I did most of the stuff you need to do when you move, to find a place to live and to get your car registered and get my son in school and, all that stuff. Almost all of it has been accomplished. So I see the focus turning on me, and it's uncomfortable. but I'm heading into a new chapter of my life now where my son's getting older and it doesn't require as much of my time and energy as he used to when he was younger, and my business being established. And of course, we're always expanding and growing, but the foundational stuff of my business kind of being set. It just really feels like entering into a new chapter of my life. And it feels really good. It feels like the focus can be a little bit more on joy and a little bit less on doing. And it's exciting where I'm going, and I've gotten better at focusing on what brings me joy and letting the other things fall away. So I think this week has been the last 7 days has been a big shift for me in that area. And it was uncomfortable, and I allowed myself to feel it and work through it and then open up to it. And I'm feeling more hopeful and more joyful than ever moving forward. So I'm really grateful for that. So I'm what's right in my world is really the change that's taking place, I think. And that I've been fortunate enough to open to it to some degree and recognize it, feel what I need to feel, let go of what I need to let go of, and start embracing the new chapter. So it's exciting.
That's awesome, man. And that is what this show is about. So that is what's right with the world this week.
Well, what about you? We can go over a little bit. What's right in your world?
I went to a Raffi concert, a children's concert over the weekend. That was really awesome. And I shared a story about that on your Patreon page as one of the daily What's Right with the Worlds, which is just awesome. And Raffi is look up the stuff that if you want to know, look up the stuff that he's done with for children and child honoring and that whole foundation. It's really cool stuff. Also today in America, because I know that you have listeners all over the world, but in America it's election day. So, got to vote, and that's always awesome, when you're able to do that. So, yeah, that's what's right in my world this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. It's all positive stuff. Not all, but, the more we look for it, the more we see it.
Awesome. Well, that's it, man. That's the new show.
That's it. And this will continue unfolding, and I'm sure we will. I kind of like there's a little bit more, it almost feels like there's a little more freedom in it.
Yeah.
So, which is good, because that's probably going to lead to a heck of a lot more laughter, which is spontaneous and fun. So I like that. So, all right. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we will talk with you soon.